Hello and welcome to Matt's Rocks. I've got these Brazilian, this is the Lake Superior agate I cut up the other day. I've got two of them here, two different colors and styles. So I've got like 5 cabs of the white one and 4 cabs of the red one. I'm going to start working on these today. I don't know how good they're going to hold together with all these fractures in them. Let me, I need to get my water bottle. I gotta wet them down so you can see what they look like. Look pretty blah with no water on them. There's this one. They do allow a little bit of air, a little bit of light through. This is a heel here. And I figured I'd cut them just to see what they looked like. And they're not real good if you just tumble them. You got all that husk to go through. There weren't very many. There was just a little bit of face showing through on this side, a little bit of a window showing through into the and nothing on this other side. It feels pretty solid. I think they'll stay together to do each one. But we're going to go ahead and get started on them now. Let me zoom this in and get it where you can see what I'm doing on this. Machine. There we go. Got some parallax banding in it too. I think that might be fractures. I don't think it is. There's quite a few really, really fine lines in there. On those fortification lines, especially in this upper. The white ones and the ones right below. It's the whiter lines. There's kind of some orangish looking lines in there too. I want to get it down a little thinner. I hope I don't lose that. Should have that on both sides. But I want to make it thinner so it allows more light through it. I'll get that done by rounding off the face, doming the face on both sides. I cut this by hand too, so it's a little thicker on one side than it is on the other. One end than it is on the other. chips along this fracture too. It kind of looks like it might end at the edge of the rounded area right here, like it's just a flake still sitting in there, so that I may lose that whole piece. I may have to take it down to get that whole piece out of there. Hopefully it doesn't go down too deep on this end. I know this end's real shallow because that's where the chipping's at. And it chips all the way to here. May not be able to do much about those chips at all because it seems like it just chip keeps following how far down I'm getting it. Like I'm chipping more out as I go. Luckily they're both on the thicker side. It's this top half that's thicker than the bottom half. And that one's still losing chunks. Every time I wipe across it, I get another chunk on my finger. It's also looking awful dark underneath there, like it may be. It looks like it goes down quite a ways. I don't know what that is. If I have to leave it, I'll leave it, but I won't like it. A little more light through. Still got a few little bugs down here and there. Little holes, but they're small enough that they're not going to matter. Got a couple of eyes out here on the edge. You can see the little white dots, I hope. And there's you can see this swoop here in this dark line around those, at the edge of those eyes. Now, I think there's fortification lines between the red, or between the outside and the white dots on this edge that I want to try to keep there and get them where you can see them better. My fractures are pretty much, they're the chips across the fractures have gotten a lot thinner. I think now I can go ahead and switch to the 220 wheel, start getting my scratches out and refining the final shape down a little bit smaller and thinner. Probably get the rest of those fractures out of there, or the rest of those fractured chips. Turn this on. The wheel's usually wet from splashing off the 80 grit, but so it fools me from time to time. that's this side. I think that's center of that pocket. The center of the fortification lines is darker red than the rest of it. And that's what's not letting the light through. And this is the smaller side of it. And you can see the center goes from there to there. Where over here goes from there to there. There's more dark red around here, as you can tell by the shadow. So taking off, but I need to take off this side just to get it to look more off that side, just to get it to look better. And I don't want to take too much more off this side, although I will, especially in that center. See if I can get it to let more light through. It would be great if you could see all of those fortification bands, because there's darker red fortification bands inside that red pocket, I think, or lighter fortification bands inside that deep red pocket. One of the two, I can't remember. I have to look at it again. Yeah, they're kind of a brighter red. But they're not showing on this side, inside that pocket. I think that's a good enough shape. Those eyes will be on the back side. That's kind of a yellow around there. Holding it the other way, it looked darker out of the light, but that's kind of a yellow agate, more yellowish agate around those eyes. And I've got my fractures pretty much, only one little chip up on that edge. To do a little more, getting some flat spots off of it. Okay, let's take the scratches off of it with the 280 grit. Still haven't looked at the sides yet, but I still haven't run it lengthways along the sides yet either. That'll be my remedy for whatever's on there. I want to make sure I get the faces all the way out to the edge, where when I do the sides on the long ways, it'll be the last time I'll have to run it over the stone or over the wheel. That one's ready for the next one too. Okay, let's look at the sides. ready to. It's kind of cool though, because this up here at the top, where the darker red agate comes in from this other down here, it's from the white, but it's the agate part of the skin there. But anyway, where the fortification lines come together, that kind of wraps around the tip of the stone. Too. I wanted to save that. Of course, I could have saved it. It wouldn't make no difference. I could have ground that down to where it was rounded more. As long as I didn't get to that last outside wider fortification bands. There's like 3 of them. Yeah, 3 of them that are kind of a yellowish orange before it gets to the darker orange. And at the tip of that's where I would lose that wraparound. I would lose some of the wraparound, not all of it. This tip doesn't come as close on this side. Okay, I'm ready for the next wheel. Reset the camera a little bit here. There we go, get some water going. Looked at it from a different angle. Probably more shadow than anything else, but that got it. Okay, let's go to the next wheel. The parallax banding. It'll make it easier to see if I've dried it off. See how it looks like it's got water in it? When you tip it, you can see this little shadow. It's neat. It's really, really neat. 3 stubborn ones. Okay, now I know what those stubborn ones are. They're inclusions. Everybody's saying, yeah, that's what they all say. They're inclusions because you can see that they're actually bigger than that they look. Bigger than the scratch. The white mark that looks like a scratch, when you hold it up where you can see the shadow of the scratch, you can see the white line going past the shadow, showing you that it's a tubular inclusion, air pocket crystals, quartz crystals, something along those lines. But I've got them down to where they're not that noticeable, so I'm going to call that side good. Get my edges real quick before I go to the other side. Probably fortification lines that I thought were scratches, but I had to hit them anyway. Yep, they're not showing up now. So I did right. Next wheel. We're almost done with this jobber. Fortification lines are showing up more as actual, looking almost like scratches too. You can see the divisions as a shadow rather than a change in color. Other than, yeah, never mind. That was a bad analogy. But yes, this one is done. Almost. Still have some inclusions on that big side that I didn't notice. And a little bit of a cloud. I think that cloud has got to do with this center bug. You can see it's got some lighter areas here and a lighter area over here. Right below that center line fracture. You can see the shadow, but you can also see, if I turn it this way where the reflection's not got it, you can see the white areas whiter areas in that center, and that's what's making it look like a cloud. But there's also those inclusions running across short ways. Get some more of those off, and then I think I could probably take it to the cerium oxide. I'll have to get some slabs off the top of my plate though. I did some cutting yesterday and I didn't feel like recording it because I wasn't sure. It was experimental cutting. I wasn't sure if I was going to get anything good. Most of these Lake Superior agates are usually filled with quartz in the center. Most of, I'm not saying all, but most of. And they tend to, so I don't, if it's got that much quartz, if it's all quartz in the center, just a little bit of agate around the outside edge, I'm not going to polish it. I might tumble it, but I'm not going to polish it. Not with a cab machine or anything like that. But, and I had some that just it wasn't worth doing anything with before, so I tumbled them. I didn't cut them though. I could tell by the open windows on the sides of them that they were mostly quartz. It's got a good red outside agate layer though on that on the rind, what you call the rind. It's agate, but on most of them. This one here, it was more, it's still agate, but it's got more inclusions in it. On these other, that was this other, one of the other slabs of this stone. By George, I think I've got it. Yes, we have one done. There's the end. And now see if I can get the, this is the one. Get that parallax effect in those bands. Okay, this is the side that the whole top when you tip it forward and backwards at the top. It just looks like it's water in it. It looks like those bands are moving. But the edges are all good and shiny. Also, make a nice cab. It is a nice cab, if I do say so myself. But I'm an amateur, so you can listen to me or not. That's up to you. And I don't think, unless you drop it really hard, and if it's wire wrapped, it may not even have any, or it may not even fracture if it's dropped, but it may fracture if it's dropped. In a, if it's just got a, I don't think I'd want to drill a hole in it and mount it that way. And it would be better off. Oh, I still haven't showed you. Let me do this before we shut this video down. I had a little scritch mark on the side there that I had to get off. I got it. What I didn't show you was the light coming through with the flashlight. It's got a lot more light coming through it now than it did before. I like it more from this, from the side with the small center of the red agate, because it's not as shadowed. So this side, we'll back that off where it'll cover the whole stone. This side shows more of the red, and it gets more of the lines too on the bottom down there. Today I'm going to be working on this red Lake Superior agate. Wet it down so you can see what it looks like. Pretty good looking rock. This will be the second one out of 4 I got out of that rock out of the agate nodule that I got down in McKenda. It's got nice parallax bands in it. As you can see the shadow moving in them. Hopefully you can see that from there or from here. But it does allow a little bit of light through. This one probably not as good as the other ones. The last one I did, but I'll get it thinner where it should come through a little better. Once I get this thinned down, this is a little bit thicker than the other one. I cut these all by hand on my 10-inch high-tech diamond saw. And actually this one turned out pretty squared off all the way around, where the last one was a little thicker on this end, and this whole side was thicker than this whole side, so it kind of went out like this lengthwise. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Let me zoom in here on the wheels so you can see what I'm doing a little better. Set that off over there. We'll go ahead and start shaping it. Take off the, I didn't change glasses yet. Better do that too. Been getting interrupted trying to get this video started. Things I forgot to do: fill up my water jug. Cut this a little thick on purpose because I wasn't sure where I was going to have to worry about fractures. So I cut it a little thick so that I know which side I need to work on, where the fractures are going to flake out the most, and that's this side over here. Like I said, that chip is only that deep. And where this other side's got these 2 longer chips. This on this edge here might be fairly shallow too, but it does look like it goes very far, and that may be just a difference in the color of the inclusions, because that kind of links up with this pocket in the center. It'll be easier if you got it up there a little closer to you where you can see it. But it's not sure if that's a fracture. It doesn't really look like a fracture. And it may be healed. These other 2 look healed also. But that's just a little V-type chip too. It only goes that deep at that end. I may have to take off a little. So this side's the side I want to take the most off of to try to get rid of those chips. Well, no. I'm gonna have to take it off both sides. On this end, this where this chip comes up, I think it comes up and goes around this. So that part might be a problem. But that might come out better when I do that side, around that side down, that might come out. Yeah, getting the chip right there. I didn't realize that fracture kind of splintered off right there. Boy, I may lose this whole side, this whole corner. I'm not careful. That's a pretty deep hole too. Still haven't emptied out my gook from the bottom of this tray. Should have done that while it was semi-dry. So this one might come out pretty thin compared to what it is now. Okay, now I'm going to go back to the 220. I'm going to go down to the 220 now. Almost done with that chip, but it looked like I just chipped it a little bit bigger than what I had gotten it down to. Maybe not quite, but might be a mad imagination. But I have to check it and see. Didn't have to dip it in the rock dust. Must be getting my hand up against the side over here. I thought I had a little bit of a I can get that off on the next. Got a little bit of a point over on this side. I was trying to get this all down where the taper's even and about the same all the way around. Still got a little bit of work to do on that yet. little chip starting down in here. Oh, it looks like there's a second fracture. Oh no, it's just a real thin fracture, so I'm going to have to take quite a bit more of that off too, because it's chipping at the edge of it, because this fracture is shallow going that way. Might as well quit trying to take out those shortwave scratches now. I'm going to have to put some more on there. I got quite a ways to go yet before I get to the bottom of that first chip. I've almost already worked out the other chip that hadn't broke out yet. Got down through it already. Still got a little bit of a gap on this part of this end of that little fracture. And a little bit running this way along the edge of it. Still got a little ways to go to get my other. Real close. Real close. And I'm getting a little more light through it. Probably can't tell it from there, but one little eye right there. Actually, it was the one on this side. They look like they went deep. They're really dinky, but they look like they go pretty deep. Oh no, that one just turned out to have a dirty inclusions in the eye, so it's got a black spot, like a ring around the pupil. That's what it kind of looks like a dark ring around the pupil, but the white's gone. A little bit of white outside the circle. Kind of neat. I don't know if you can see it in there. Right there where that white line dips just above my fingernail. I'll tilt that edge and hopefully you can see that black little circle there. It's part of that eye that I just ground out. Thought it was real deep. There are still a couple of little bitty pits in there, but it's like in crystal pockets. So I'd say I'm good on that wheel. Over here and start smoothing it out on the 600 grit. See a little harder spot on the stone right there, because that's the third time now I've had to grind that down because it's pointed. First it had a white spot in the top of it. Okay, we're ready for the next wheel. Oh, that's so weird. Oh, it's just a difference in layers in the agate. One layer's shinier than the other. It's making a circle where the lines are going at an angle like this, and it's making a circle right there. You can't see it, but you won't be able to see it. I wouldn't be able to get it down small enough, I don't think. So, and it's just a fluke. It's only because there's dull spots on it that you can even actually see that spot. Okay, more water. More water. Change the angle of the camera. I thought that's supposed to be locked. Tilted that camera 3 inches. The camera lens is moved 3 inches. And yet, it still didn't change anything. I had to tilt the lens. It's got a gimbal already. There's a gimbal on the camera. It's a nice camera. I like it. Really long fortification line. I would say it was a scratch, but it curves just like the fortification line. Not got it down where you can't see it as easy. Well, let's see. I think I already did the other face. I do still have some pits around that chip, and I don't want to drop this one and chip that chip off of there because that'd take forever to fix. Well, not really. It wouldn't take forever, but it'd take a little bit. Just don't want to have to do it. I don't. Maybe now with this much shine on it, you can see what I'm talking about with the parallax lines. Looks like a shadow moving in between the lines whenever I move the stone. It's like it's got water in it and it's shifting. It's showing up a lot better than this than it was showing up in my Brazilian agates that I was doing the other day. Hey, why are you dry? Oh, I shut it off. Duh. I hadn't finished looking at the ends yet. I got some shortwave scratches there. Might be fortification lines, but okay, now I'm ready to go to the next wheel. That was the 1200 grit. 3000 grit. Why did I go back to the... I think I'm on the 1200 grit. Am I on the 1200 grit? Leave a comment. I'm going to the 1200 or to the 3000 grit because I'm pretty sure I was done with the 1200 grit. Down by that fracture, come back. Or never left. There, that got it back. Or got it the way it should be. Okay, we're done. Get off while the getting's good. And let me dry the rest of my fingers off. I just put a big old spot of water back on it. Well, there it is. And I'll show you how you can see how much more light's passing through it. Still not as much as I'd like down in this lower side, but this upper side's showing through real good. It was already, but I got it to come down a little further towards the lower side. But yeah, it's a good. I like these agates. Parallax lines are showing up. I'll have to wait and look and see. There's the other side. I'll give it the other hand. But anyway, it's done. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and share. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of these videos. And one of these days I'll get some posted where you can do that. Thanks for watching and have a good day.